We've waited all year to find out how much silver we found coin roll hunting for 2022. Unfortunately, today is the silver jar's least favorite day of the year. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Rob Finds Treasure, and it's time to find out how much silver we found for 2022. Now, unfortunately, I didn't keep track of 2017, 18, or 19. It wasn't until 2020 I started keeping track of the finds and the number of boxes hunted. Now, for various reasons, we've hunted less boxes throughout the years, maybe because of the sheer number of uncirculated boxes we've been getting or changes in the live stream hunts that I've done, and I've hunted a lot less personal $half-dollar boxes, and that's been the major drop-off. 570 in 2020, only 486 in 2021, and then 321 total $half-dollar boxes hunted last year, and definitely the big drop. Total boxes hunted, we actually hunted more quarter boxes, more dime boxes, and even more nickel boxes last year, and the silver numbers do show an improvement there. Like I said, we're definitely wanting to find out what we got. I've already got the boxes for the year-to-date totals input on the spreadsheet. I've got the average spot price, at least as of today, January 1st, 2023, and we'll use that like we've done in all the previous years past. Now I've got to dump out the silver jar, stack all the finds up, and then we'll see what we have for every denomination. Sorry, silver jar, but it's time. Before I dump it out, I figured I'd give you guys a last look at how far up the jar we got. And of course, we didn't fill it up, but we'll have to see if we found more silver per box average than we did in previous years. Now, I'm just going to dump this out. No slow motion pour. It's a pretty heavy amount here. We're just going to put it on this mat, and then we'll stack it by denomination. Man, that is a lot of silver in here. And for those wondering, whenever we found silver during the live streams, I took some of the worst silver I had of the same type of silver we found during the stream and threw it in here. So the vast majority of these coins are going to be uglier than normal, and they're the ones that I have been recycling every single time I've done a coin roll hunt and we have found stuff. Unless, of course, there was not one that would replace it, or I didn't have a worse one to put in its stead. So there will be a couple of nicer coins in here, but most of these are in pretty rough shape. All right, I think what I'll do first is get all the 40s counted, because that's what the bulk majority of this is going to be. I'll be back when I had the 40s counted and put on the spreadsheet. All right, we have got all the $half-dollars, and I figured since I was doing the 40s, I might as well separate all the 90s as well. The total 40% Kennedy $half-dollars for last year were 275 finds. We also had an additional 50 90%ers on the nose. As far as Kennedys, Benjis, we ended with 31, and Walking Liberty $half-dollars, 23. So definitely had a lot more than 321, which is the number of boxes hunted. We averaged, these are the totals for finds per boxes for each of those denominations. And if I add them all up, we got 0.86, that's 1.02, 1.12, 1.19, call it 1.2 silvers per box on the year. I'll get you guys the grand total as far as profit per box at the end. We've got the $half-dollars done. Time to move on to the quarters next and see if it matches my year-to-date 18 that I have found based on the number of boxes hunted. We went ahead and pulled out the silver quarters. I had 18 in the pile, so definitely matched what I had on the sheet. I went ahead and plugged that into the spreadsheet as well. Now it's time to move on to the dimes, and this was a tough dime year for me, so probably going to be a pretty sharp decline in the number of silver dimes, but I got to get the rosies and the mercs separated, and I'll be back in just a second. Definitely a tough dime year. We had 3 Mercury dimes, 19 rosies, and an 80% Canadian dime. I have those plugged in the spreadsheet. We found almost 1 silver dime per dime box hunted last year, and not even half of a silver dime, or 1 silver dime every 2 boxes this year. Sharp decline in dimes, but I don't think so in silver war nickels. Let's get those tallied, plugged into the sheet, and give you guys a year recap. All right, we've got all the totals plugged into the sheet. I used some color coding. Hopefully you can see the numbers. but we were slightly down on 40% and 90% Kennedy half dollars when it compared to the last year. We were slightly ahead on the Benjis this year, slightly behind on the Walkers. The big winners this year for me as far as silver finds was in the quarters and the war nickels. The quarters, we were all the way up to 0.35 per box average compared to the 0.11 last year. And then the war nickels were up to 0.88 per box, and we were at 0.64 last year. So those were the big winners. And of course, like I said, the big losers were the dimes in general. Both of them were only at a 0.44 per box average. And last year, when you combine them, we were 0.97. Still was a good year overall. We averaged 0.97 silver finds per box, down from last year's 116, but almost on par with 2020 at 1.02. And again, this is just what I have found during my hunts. Obviously, certain geographical areas, big cities versus small cities might play a different number or a different part in yours. And I didn't check and didn't find as many CoinStar finds this year. And had I had CoinStar finds, I would have included them on this sheet because that would have got it. I would have got those for free basically, and I might as well include them. The melt values is just that, just melt values. This does not count for any compensation as far as premiums on junk silver. So just in melt value, we paid $200.50 in total silver face value. The melt value is $21.10.21, and our total profit would be $1909.71. And again, if we factor in some of the premiums, I'm sure this would be well over $2,200 or so. Either way, 519 boxes were hunted on the year. Almost got the total silvers at 519 at 504. And then if you wanted to be really down to the box, we averaged $3.68 in profit per box, down from $4.75 last year and $4.18 per box the previous year. So historically, we're averaging about $4.25 profit per box hunted on a sheer silver melt value basis. That's the 3-year look. I'm hoping that 2023 gets us back on the board for some silver dimes, and maybe we can hunt a few more half dollars even personally this year so that I can try to up those half dollar numbers because they are definitely declining over the last 3 years as far as the number of boxes hunted. So of course, the number of finds are down as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this 2022 Silver Jar year in recap. If you did, I'd appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching. Come on, Silver Jar. Don't worry, we'll find some silver this year, and when I do, I'll be sure to feed it to you.